Welcome back to Gengangare Gaming, everybody. I've been working on Assassin's Creed Shadows for a while now. I've wrapped up the main storyline as well as the epilogue. A couple little things here and there to wrap up. But I figure I would take you through my hideout, how I set it up or decorated it. Throughout the storyline, you're constantly getting additional decorations as either unlocks or purchased items or rewards. I set mine up, totally scrapped it, and started from scratch as far as my layout, and figured I would just take you through it. So we'll do kind of a MTV Cribs style reveal, if you will. And let me just hop in here. Assassin's Creed is definitely one of the games I've always gravitated towards. I think I've played, I think there's one or two that I may not have played, all of them being on Xbox console. Or I've played all of them. I think there's two that I need to wrap up. The issue is every year or two, a new one comes out. It's a time investment, especially if you're kind of a completionist. I have a trouble leaving a bunch of achievements on the table. So I go through pretty thoroughly. And it takes a lot of time. And I want to say maybe it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey that I still need to finish. I think Valhalla or something came out eventually, and my attention turned towards that. I haven't gone back quite to that one, as well as Assassin's Creed. It's the follow-up to Valhalla. I think I'm probably saying it wrong. Assassin's Creed Basim or something like that. That one I played a little bit of it. Again, on the heels of Valhalla, which was such a grind, it was difficult to jump right back in. But this one quickly caught my attention. I know there's a lot of controversy behind it and what Ubisoft's doing and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm not going to talk about that. But from a game standpoint, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I knew a little bit of the Japanese culture, which is the same with most of these Assassin's Creed games, as far as I knew a little bit of what's going on. But it does a great job, I think, of kind of teaching you along the way. I know it's not historically accurate in a lot of areas, but it does. I'm constantly grabbing my phone and looking up stuff, so I think it was a good introduction to Japanese culture from a history standpoint, just the same as a lot of the other Assassin's Creeds have been. That's what really draws me into it. But anyways, Assassin's Creed Shadows crib style. This main area is just part of it. If you played the game, you know that you get a hideout, and throughout the progress you can upgrade, expand your hideout. This stall area is a main area that's already in place. You can't really can't move it or anything, but it is upgradable. All my locations are upgradable already, or have been upgraded. So this is the main building, and we'll just go to the upgrade table here. I'll show you kind of an aerial view, and then we'll take a stroll. So this is the main building that we're in right now. Horse stables are right over here. Those are already in place when you get your hideout. I did place a gallery. Two of them actually. And I'll take you through those. They're separate based on the character that you play. And then we do have a study, Anando, which is kind of just a hangout area, if you will. The assassins main area. And the dojo. So I kind of made a plaza, if you will, or kind of a main, yeah, plaza. I don't know any other way to describe it. Where everything kind of, that was the center of it. And I do on the outer areas, such as the tea room. And I put the forge over in this corner along with kind of some of the additional items like the wood area and the clothing dye shops. So you can kind of see somewhat of a theme where this is kind of the labor area, if you will. The forge, the main kind of in and out living area, or the functional locations. And then the tea area is over here next to the housing. And the dojo over here, which is kind of a little bit of the extensive training area. So I did put some of the bamboo walls around that. You get a watchtower. Nobody ever attacks the hideout. I don't know if that's a future thing or not, but just sticking with the theme of that, I did put kind of a surplus archery area, training miscellaneous, and then another garden area. I did put a lot of some of the, just kind of kept the theme of being able to go over here and just kind of hang out, if you will. And there's some of the pets and animals over here, and then the larger areas to pay homage or pray, etc., are located over here. So you can kind of get a general theme of it. We'll walk around it. Another garden area. You get a lot of decorations to mess with, which is kind of cool, a little bit overwhelming. Some things are restrictive. They only give you a handful. They don't tell you how many you get. And then you're going along and trying to build something and realize that you're out and you can't place anymore. Also, it seems like you get just enough spots to have one of each animal, which, again, it's not really a big deal. If nothing happens, you don't have to maintain them. But if you're trying to be creative and, for whatever reason, have 2 rabbits or deer, you're kind of restricted if you want some of the other ones. So anyways, let's take a quick stroll. I think it is basically the fall season. So you can see there's a lot of the trees are turning, and let's go. So again, we're back into the main building. And I do wish you could customize some of this a little bit further. Just kind of some of the entry points. Again, it's not critical to the game. If you enjoy these types of games that allow you to create locations or build communities or whatever the case is, this definitely takes care of some of that. We've seen that before in some of the other Assassin's Creed. This is probably the most comprehensive. So anyways, I kind of did a main pathway over here. Again, these galleries are next to us. We'll go in there in a second. I kind of created a walled area for livestock, although they wander off. That dog's taking care of some of it. There is a mid-sized wall like this, but they only give you a handful. I would much have rather used that in some places. But for whatever reason, you can only have a couple of those. These guys are just yakking. There's the forge. This is the boundary over here. I couldn't wall it off, otherwise I certainly would have. This is kind of the labor area, if you will. Wood cutting, I think, yeah, seafood, fishery area, clothing, dye, etc. And then as we go in here, these are just kind of the small, medium, and large building. I just did one of each in an effort to upgrade the overall, but you have miscellaneous shelves that you can decorate. There's really no functionality to this particular building, but you can basically put up shelves and wall decorations. I don't think I have 100% of the wall art. I think there's a couple, especially the unique or legendary animals that I need to go find. But tables, shelving, etc. I do have some of those in here. This, I think, is the bigger of the two, or the bigger of the three. So there's a lot more options to decorate. Some of this is just part of the structure being filled out. These tables and all that kind of stuff is not something I put in there, but more wall art. Oh yeah, this is again, these are just the extra rooms. I kind of try to keep the themes somewhat together as you progress in the game and kind of learn some of what's important in here. Yeah, you just kind of theme it out that way. So that's kind of just the miscellaneous locations. Tea room is over here. I kind of had it over here since roughly, you know, the earlier stages, so I didn't really want to move it. You could probably argue one way or the other, but it's kind of a quiet area of solitude. That's why I kind of left it off to the side, away from the noise of the main area. And then one of the quests has you collecting samurai crests, and these are the banners that you're allowed or given at the end of when you collect them all as the reward. So more area to decorate. I just lined this area of the different ones. We'll go into the gallery next. This one I just set up to display her different outfits. I honestly, for the enjoyment of setting up the hideout and decorating it, I wish you had more customizable options. Honestly, you can only put legendary. You can only put your legendary outfits up for display, and I wish they would give you the option to display them all. I don't mind that these are preset, but give me enough spots to put all of them. So you kind of have to either build another building or choose which ones. So these are kind of random. I think there's 3 or 4 additional ones that I have that aren't up there. Same with the weapons. You can display those as well. These are ones that just kind of stood out. Again, if you immerse yourself in the game, which ones would I want to put up? And that's kind of what I went with. And then I do have one for the other main character. And I don't want to butcher their name, so you can kind of tell probably why I'm kind of staying with it. I think you pronounce it Yasuke. Though it might be spelled a little bit Yasuke, but hopefully I didn't butcher it there. But either way, again, similar setup. same situation. I think there's 2 or 3 additional outfits or armor sets that would be kind of cool to display, just sticking with the theme of it. But these are some of the main ones that I put up for this area. Moving on. Let's see. This is, I think, kind of the rec area, hangout. So you got tea and sake and everything else. Again, simple decorations, table, wall hangers. And then if we move along over here, I tried to path everything somewhat uniform. And let's see. This one is kind of your assassin's hideout, or hangout, if you will. You can refill all your fun stuff. Anything you could do in a assassin's hideout in each of the different locations along the map, you can do on this one. And take one of those. You can get missions. You have a storage box, so if you're there's no encumbrance, but you can at least toss your stuff in there, or you can refill your supplies, or you can manage and reset your scout. So again, simple wall hanging options. This is just storage that naturally kind of happens here. And then we come to the dojo. And okay, there we go. So again, pathways, dojo, I figured it was kind of a little bit more of a secret training area, or a private training area. So that's why I did wall it off with the bamboo. This one's another one that I wish you can kind of display more weapons to practice with, if you will. So I just kind of put some random ones in there. I wish maybe you can at least select one from each category. I think that would have been kind of cool with various placement. There's certainly options, and sorry, I didn't mean to step on your calligraphy. But still cool overall. I don't really mess around in here too much. You can manage, and if you played the game, you know this already, but you can certainly manage your allies. I've already upgraded them and maximized their outfit options, basically. I didn't use them too much, honestly. There's a couple. I think one of them triggers kind of an auto passive thing that occurs. And that's, I mean, honestly, I really just didn't use them. Didn't need to. This area is that kind of war armory, archery practice area. I just dumped them in there. I did have a kind of an archery area just naturally in this corner, not knowing that this was an unlock. So as soon as I did that, I had to reconfigure it a little bit over here. But it still worked out, and this is kind of a surplus items. And then this watchtower, again, there's not really nothing you not gonna see. Nobody comes to the hideout unless it's a feature release, but here's kind of an overview, a different perspective. Yeah. Jump here, let your belly flip a little bit. We'll just go around the peripheral and then we'll top it off and then the inside. This is kind of, this area's been here the entire time. There's a rabbit, and here's a shrine. And then this is just kind of a garden area that you can visit with another shrine on it. So you can kind of see the theme that somewhat developed as I would get more things. Simple garden. They do give you two types of different bridges. So after I had two down, then I realized I got a different one, and then I put that one in place. And then here's one shrine. Then the other. Those ones aren't really, don't really upgrade those. You just place them and leave them. I also have a garden over here. This is boundary area out that way. But I did have a garden. This was kind of a simple, just garden, not really a particular theme. I think when I first got this type of sand or gravel. And then as I unlocked more shrines, I just put them there. Kind of a central miscellaneous shrine area. Let's see, that's the main location. So again, just following the circle around. This is the... Yeah. It's the study. And then the Nando, which is... I don't want to tell you wrong. Comfortable apartments. Versus small, medium, and large rooms. So our bearings again. So here's the study. Got a map option, which honestly I forgot it was even in here. Never use it. Which is kind of cool. They give you the option. I wish, honestly, from a immersion standpoint, you would have to use those. I get the point of quick maps and stuff. Maybe when you're out and about, finding a location to pull out a map would be, I don't know, kind of an interesting perspective to the game. Here's the apartments. Again, this one's just more tables and shelves for options. It kind of, it lets you choose a couple options, but you don't get a lot of variety in that. And then here's the plaza or garden, whatever you want to call it. Pretty straightforward. I do have the alarm bell. You get one, so I figured I'd drop it. I did put down, this is kind of the area that I centralized some of the macaws. Right, maybe that's wrong. The macaw. The monkey. Let's see what kind of monkey that was. Yeah, the macaque. Either way, there's a couple, I think there's 3 of them, and then the little baby one. There's at least 2 adults. I kind of, I mean, if there was a baby animal, I tended to kind of put it with an adult, just kind of the running with the emergency theme. Yep, there's a puppy. Probably shitting all over the place, chewing on stuff they're not supposed to. So yeah, one of the other style bridge I did put along in here. Most of the cats I actually put in this area. This is kind of a cool little pond area with the statue in there. And then you're back to the main area. So there we have it. There is my Assassin's Creed Shadows hideout. Just kind of a walkthrough. Figured it'd be interesting just to kind of share how I put it together. Hopefully you've had fun playing yours, and I will close it out with that. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining. Bye.